Yes, he is. And then he's going to, I don't know what he's going to do after that, but he's going to do that.
Sure, we're not on, but we're live, so that's long of this
Slade, S-L-A-D-E.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, the worst names, the last names didn't work.
I don't. So I'm going to do this one. No, I'm good. Good.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's not the right one. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Good morning.
Come on.
We have this spring we've been looking at healing stories in the Bible, and I'm delighted to welcome back Elizabeth VanderKamp, who has been with us a few times now in the last year. Elizabeth's an artist, a storyteller, and she describes a story gardener, creating the fertile ground for us to tell our stories. Today's image she's using from the 15th chapter of John's Gospel, the imagery of the vine, to enter into our conversation around the healing stories in the Bible. So Elizabeth, welcome, and delighted that you're back with us this Sunday.
Thank you. Thanks, John, and hello, everybody. I am, Mary B. asked me to do this, I think, in November, and I thought, wow, February is so far away, so I'm so glad this day has finally arrived, and it is just lovely to see you all again, and to see you if I haven't seen you before. So as we did when Mary B. and I were together, I'm going to invite us, after we sit down and take your time, to just take a minute, get in a lovely, comfortable position, whatever that might be. I like to close my eyes. That is totally optional. And we're just going to breathe together for a minute. And at the end of the minute, I will sound a chime. So I'm going to put on my glasses so I can tell when a minute is up. And just getting in our beautiful settled position, our minute begins now. Thank you, and welcome back together. And as John said, we're gonna, I invite us into a robust discussion. Is everybody ready to discuss? Okay, I'm teasing, I'm partly teasing. It's an invitation. So maybe your robust discussion is internal. But if you're willing to share, that would be lovely. So as some of you have heard, I'm a catechist from the program of the Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, along with Sandy. And before we read from the Bible, we light a candle. And the children that I work with, if I forget to do that, say, Miss Elizabeth, remember the word is a light unto our path and a lamp unto our feet. And I say, thank you. Let's light a candle. So I found, y'all have all kinds of fun things in the drawers here. I have investigated their light bulbs and their birthday party things, and there was a candle. I did find a candle and a lighter, so. And I will be reading from John, the Gospel of John, chapter 15, the vine and the branches. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. So, what did you hear? Was there any word that we heard over and over again? Come on. Sandy, thank you. Okay.
No branch that does not remain in me will bear fruit.
Okay, so she said, no branch that does not remain in me will bear fruit. So what does that, yes, sir?
John's favorite words, remain.
Yeah, one of John's favorite words, remain. Now, if we were, for me, 50 years younger, I would ask us to count up how many times John said the word remain. Anybody have a guess just in that short passage? 12? What other guesses? 20. Oh, do I hear 100? I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. It's close to 12. It's 11 times. So I am a lover of words, and probably you all know this. It was news to me. But the prefix re comes from the Latin again, or to go back. And so how important is this idea of remaining? Pretty important. And how many of us could say, I remain on the vine all the time? Good luck. Okay. Good luck, exactly. Okay, so before we get to getting off the vine, if we have a vine and we look at it, it really is hard to tell the vine from the branches. It's all one. And if we think about vines in our gardens, like the beautiful gardens here, and I know y'all are great caretakers of the earth, and my husband is an avid gardener, and we have pumpkin vines that they're gonna take over the whole street. They just go and go and go. And vines How are they different from other beautiful growing things? How is a vine different?
Stay in the ground.
They always grow.
They always grow, even like kudzu. Things that we don't want. What else? They're dependent. Yeah, to go up, they need something. Yes. What else?
Go in so many different directions.
Yes, they go in so many directions, and usually, well, at our house, not the one we're trying to make it go. And if we think of pumpkin vines, cucumber, tomato, like all these vines, like watermelon, thank you, watermelon. What about this true vine? What makes it grow? What makes us grow? What keeps us on the vine? What do we need? What do we need? We need to be fed. And what do we need to be fed? The Word. What else? What keeps us on the vine, being fruitful, being with God? Love. Oh my gosh. That's always like in church, I heard somebody say once, if you say Jesus as the answer to anything, you're right. Because it's like Jesus. But Jesus is love. So yes, love, the Word. What else? Grace. Absolutely. What else?
But didn't it say in that scripture it has to be pruned?
Yes, you heard that. What does that mean? It has to be pruned. I know I don't like that word so much either. But what if we have a garden and we don't prune? What happens?
Things don't grow back sometimes.
Things don't grow
Cut
back.
back an azalea or something, it comes back and it's more, could be more fruitful or more pretty or colorful.
Yeah, so it becomes more fruitful, like an azalea. And I can attest to not pruning mine, and they're like sad, very sad.
Pruning involves judgment.
Does it?
Yeah, you judge that goes.
That goes. Well, that's true. And I wonder do any of us have things that maybe we would like pruned?
About 5 pounds.
Okay, so I'm with you on that. I can go for like 20, but anyway. But what I know for me, I would love for God to prune my judgment of other people. Resentments. Because if we think about it, what I've learned is these are blocks on our vine. These keep us from remaining with God. And what does God want? For us to remain and remain and remain. So we have the Word, we have love, we have grace. What else keeps our vine healthy and flowing, the sap flowing? The light. The light. You know what? What? Thank you. Connection. Look at all of you. This beautiful community. What else? I'm looking at Catherine back here, and I keep thinking of beauty. I've heard that beauty helps us feel safe. And not beauty like in Glamour magazine, beauty of love and truth and connection and being together. What else? What helps us be together in love with God, with each other? And there are no wrong answers. Communication. Yes. Did you say that's a tough one? It is a tough one. And in previous classes with Mary B, we've talked about how listening is so close to love that sometimes we can't tell the difference. How many of us are really great, super fantastic listeners? Me neither. But maybe that could be a practice during Lent of maybe we just want to listen better. That's it.
It's our Lent focus on Wednesdays.
Oh, is it? How about that? Okay. So let's go back to this pruning idea. What else besides judgment and resentments and 5 pounds would we like pruned?
I think fear.
Fear. Could you say more about that?
Things that are obstacles in your way, if you could get rid of them, you could move forward more easily.
Okay.
The fear kind of holds you back
Yeah.
versus reaching out.
Yeah. What are some things we're afraid of? Failure. What, failure? Absolutely.
The unknown, of course.
The unknown.
Being judged.
Being judged. Rejection. Rejection. Does God ever do any of those things to us? Do we do it to each other? Do we do it to ourselves? Yes. So I'm going to invite us now at our tables. I had these beautiful handouts. They were so pretty. I drew a vine on them, and I printed them in color and black and white, and they both look really good, and they're on my desk. So I'm so sorry. I'll send them to John in case they're helpful. But at your tables, I just would invite you to, with each other, have a discussion about how you remain on the vine, how you remain on the true vine. So I heard the Ash Wednesday service. It was so beautiful with, the 3 things we're asked to do is pray, fast.
And alms.
Thank you, and alms. I always forget one. Pray, fast, and give alms. So please talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes about how you remain on the true vine, you remain with God, and you all are giving me really quizzical looks. But that can also morph into ways that you want to remain on the true vine by listening better, by giving more alms, by whatever. Do you have questions? Okay, so gather with your table, please, and just talk about how you stay on the vine or how you would like to.
Put that into my daily living. For the last 64 years, it's been kind of in my unconscious now, trying to make it in my conscious daily living.
Yes. One more minute, everybody. So, sorry.
Sometimes we get the wrong purpose, becoming a suicide bomber. They have purpose. They haven't judged against something that is better result.
I need one of those.
So I invite us just to come to a good stopping place. All right. I heard so much laughter and really robust discussion. Would anybody like to share what your table talked about? Because I think we'd all love to hear it. Yes.
I would just say our table was mostly about community.
Okay, so this table was mostly about community. And I know this is going to sound probably like a silly question, but what is community to you all? What does that mean? Because I might think something, and like I think coffee and donuts is community, but you might not like donuts, which would be weird. But okay, anyway. So what do you mean by community?
Reaching out to other people.
Reaching out to other people. Okay. Anything else? That connectedness.
And being vulnerable.
Being vulnerable. Yeah.
Opening up to other people.
Opening up to other people. How many of us have shared a story that maybe we're not particularly proud of, and the other person said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me that, because I've done something like that." So that vulnerability helps to create the community. Thank you. So this is the community table, okay? Yes.
Speaking for our group anyway, you can always correct me. We spoke mostly about our actions.
Okay.
And what we do to try and stay on the vine, coming to church, coming to programs like this. We talked about several of us are in the small group programs that are starting up and started last week and are starting up. So that was kind of our staying on the vine, getting involved.
Okay, so I'll just say that again, and you correct me if I'm wrong, of just in case people didn't hear, but staying on the vine of getting involved, of coming to church, of coming to things like this, of being in a small group. I would say even sharing now what you're doing, because I think part of being in community is we get inspired by each other and say, oh, well, maybe I want to join a small group. These people look really nice. Maybe I can join theirs. So what else?
Our table, I think we talked about being present,
Being present.
intentional, and the choices we make throughout the day and moderating those choices.
Okay, beautiful. So being present and choices we make throughout the day to be present and moderating. Maybe I'm not gonna have 8 donuts. Maybe I'll just have 1 or whatever that might mean. Okay, thank you. Emily, did y'all?
Yeah, we talked a good bit about just the liturgy and just the service and coming weekly and just how that can be grounding. We talked also about just the service, how we think about other people like we love, like maybe we're experiencing here at St. Stephen's, but a loved one may be experiencing the same liturgy in California or another place. Anything else?
That's about it.
Okay.
We were about the liturgy and the service.
Okay, so this is the liturgy and the service table. This is the present table. This is the action table. What kind of table are you?
I would say ours was more talking about giving.
Oh,
We have, for example, there's somebody that's got a farm and they raise vegetables and give them away. One received services years ago, and his payment was to pay it forward, so he keeps giving as a result. Another one gave her talents to help somebody that was had a medical crisis. So that was kind of the thrust of our table, I'd say.
oh, beautiful. So did y'all hear that, like giving? And something I want to lift up that you said that if we have time, our next question will be is, do we all have the same fruit? No, thank goodness. I mean, we'd finally get sick of watermelon at some point, probably. So how, like, honoring somebody has medical expertise, somebody is a farmer, somebody is a good listener, somebody is a good hugger, somebody is a good writer, somebody's so good at praying with us that we can really, how wonderful all those gifts are invited and necessary. What did y'all talk about?
Common theme that I was thinking about, what I heard in everybody is that we see that the growing on the vine comes through change, that we can't stay too long.
Oh,
Being dissatisfied where you are and starting a new practice, a book study, or leading contemplative practices for now, or wanting to change your life in some way that's going on around you from an inward perspective, and letting go, growing, calling on that whole thing. So it was all about the pruning aspect, which creates change, and then you end up a little bit closer and healthier relationship with God until you need to be pruned again.
yeah. What did you say?
Disciplined pruning.
A disciplined pruning. Yeah, we don't want to hack off the whole thing.
If we're not, we'll get uncomfortable. That's what I sort of hear everybody say. You get a little uncomfortable with hanging on to too much, or where it's a situation where you're at, and then all of a sudden God goes, okay, well, I'll take care of this. He makes you real uncomfortable, and you find something to pick up and do that brings you closer.
Yeah, thank you. So that discomfort can lead us to grow and maybe need more pruning, so maybe we grow in a way that we hadn't expected or thought we wanted to. Yeah, beautiful, thank you. So change. How about y'all? What did you talk about?
Structure.
Structure, okay.
On structure.
What?
We thrive on structure.
Oh, you thrive on structure. Okay, the structure table. Okay.
I think there are things that are out of our control, but when we have certain things that are in structure, they help us feel connected and feel, in control of things that we can't control everything.
Right, but yeah, there's a structure. Like there's a beautiful structure to the liturgy, to the service, to how we come together in community. And are y'all accountants? By any chance? No, I don't know. I'm sorry. I am so okay. That's what I think I was structure is spreadsheet. So sorry. Okay, I'm sorry to make that assumption. And everybody at home, I'm sorry for the belated hello, but thank you for being with us. And we hope that you're thinking about these things and talking about them if you're with somebody, or at least can do that later. So I think that everything that y'all brought up is just such a beautiful example of our fruits and what we bring together. And I love that we ended with structure, because personally, I'm so unstructured, I would never have thought of that as a fruit. I need more of that fruit. So how can we complement each other in what we bring to bear? John, how much time do we have? Oh, really? Okay, good. Okay, so now I'm going to invite you back to the beautiful people at your table and ask you to really be vulnerable, and if that's okay, and of course it's an invitation, to share about how you struggle to remain on the vine. What's a block that maybe keeps us from feeling as close as we want to be to God and to our neighbor? You look like you have a question.
No, I just said that's hard.
That is hard. That is hard. So feel free to just think about it internally, or if you want to talk it out. And I'm going to give us 5 minutes to do that. Could I sit with y'all and just listen? Okay, thank you.
You're Ian's daughter?
I am. I know, you're Meredith's daughter. I'm so glad to see you. Good to see you.
So I'm helping our son Thompson, he's 17, about how the whole loving your neighbor as yourself means that you have to love yourself first. And I'm saying that as much to me as I am to trying to help him with it. But you know, when you mentioned about grace and holding on to others, it probably starts at home, right? I mean, it starts individually.
You do. I think sometimes you set these really high standards for yourself, and 99% of the time you achieve them. But when you don't, you are hard on yourself. I never have thought about it.
My comment was that I have trouble giving grace.
Oh,
So that's
yes, I share that with you. Yeah.
But Chuck recognized that maybe it's because he doesn't give himself grace
Oh,
first.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I struggle with trusting that God is going to, I'm such a want it to be planned out and the next step and what we need to, I really kind of struggle with.
Does your structure get in the way of your grace? Of your being able to?
It could. I think some of it though is the question marks out there. Like if I really, like I can have a plan, but I'm not really sure if it's going to work out or not. Some of it might be a little bit of a hope type. Yeah. In fact, Slade and I were talking last week about, I don't know why this title stuck with me because I'm not really a fan of this football player, but there's a football player named Keyshawn Johnson. He was a wide receiver, and his book is titled "Just Give Me the Damn Ball." and I kind of in my life have felt, but as I've gotten a little bit older, maybe a little bit wiser through life experiences, even sometimes I realize that if I have the ball, it might not be enough. I need other things to come into play. And so that trusting that all things are gonna, sometimes I just get in a loop. I can't get to a state of peace or calm or just trying to make it all happen. That's my goal.
Wow. Thank you.
I think my block is, I guess, getting out of the routine when I feel like, well, we haven't been to church in a month. Why are we going to go today? Like, once I get out of the routine, it's same thing with exercise, same thing with eating healthy. It's kind of, I've adopted your all or nothing mentality, I think sometimes, which is not always great. And so it's kind of, I don't know, one, I won't say poor choice, but something leads to something else, something leads to something else. I do feel like I feel like I have to have it all together.
I have that one donut, and we need 10 more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have the one.
me neither. Why would you? That's why they're in a box. I don't want to separate them.
That's hilarious. They came together, they should stay together.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
But yet kind of an all or nothing
Yeah,
type.
yeah.
And that's, yeah, that can be
I have a
tough.
hard time of accepting, I guess, things are changing, and, I'm not always gonna be, I'm not the same person I was when I was 30. And,
No.
and there's different expectations of me now at this place in my life, and so sometimes I do have to give here and there and realize, okay, it's okay if we don't do this, we can still do this, I guess accepting that accepting the change, maybe.
He says, go away. He says, I'm gonna take care of it.
Do you really? Again? Okay, I think, Sandy, I'm sorry, but you're a star student, but I'm gonna put the time down. Okay, so it sounds like once again, there was a lot of fruit. Would anybody like to share what they talked about, what they thought about? Are you being volunteered? No. No. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Being busy. Oh, thank you.
It's not just busy like, ooh, it's like real busy, like work.
Yes. Okay. So there's that kind of busy, and there's I really have commitments that keep me busy. Yeah. Does anybody relate to that? Can our busyness really become our God? Yeah. What else? Yeah.
Well, we talked about how something catastrophic can really knock you off the vine.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, it lasts different periods of time. But it is a struggle when you have a great loss or a big tragedy in your life. It's difficult, and it is a struggle to stay on that line.
Thank you. Yes, so a catastrophic loss, a death, even losing a job. There are all kinds of losses, and I think I'll say for myself, it's ironic that when maybe I need the vine the most, that's when I'm most inclined to leave. Thank you. Yeah.
Pretty specific examples, several people at our table have challenging, difficult family members. And
You're kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
having to care for people who you feel like have made poor decisions, and so you feel this resentment that just kind of lives around you, and then there's guilt if you try to step away from that or knowing how much responsibility you have, and it really gets in the way of your feeling of connection. You feel guilty about having these thoughts and feeling resentful and angry, and then you feel ashamed, and it's just hard, these really powerful emotions that separate you from God, but it's just the human condition, and it's still really hard.
Yes, thank you. So this isn't all rainbows and unicorns, this vine. Thank you so much that I would guess we all have family members that are probably wonderful people. Of course they are, and they really challenge us. And I resentment, like where does responsibility end and begin with people? So thank you. Yes, that and I know I've heard that resentment is like I'm drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. Did y'all say that too? And I've done it and they never die. So I don't recommend doing that. What else? What else have we come up with? Come on, y'all needed more time. You must have said, really. Well, you know what? Since we just have a couple of minutes, so we're not left just with our blocks on the vine, I think I got to sit with the table of not accountants over here, and they were so lovely in sharing that not being able to give grace, and maybe that the problem or the block comes from not being able to give it to ourselves. So it's hard to extend something we don't have. So I invite us, and I think you all did it, we all did it, is like was said earlier, we depend on each other to stay on the vine. And how can we lean into the structure and the grace and the word and the liturgy and the love to do that together? Because vines need leaves and branches, and we need each other. And once again, I cannot thank you enough for letting me come into your beautiful, sacred space. I look forward to being with you again. Amen. Amen. Thank you.